Welcome to Breaking International News.
Victory celebrations across Iran. Trump has now expressed his position on the Iranian regime. Trump says Netanyahu betrayed. Iran's latest attack leaves Israel scarred in pictures. Israel attacks Iran without paying attention to Trump. Victory celebrations across Iran. Victory celebrations are being held across Iran after a ceasefire came into effect to end a 12-day bloody conflict between Iran and Israel. Immediately after the ceasefire announcement, Iran's political and military circles were seen rejoicing. Thousands of people took to the streets in various cities of the country, including Tehran, to celebrate. The capital was filled with slogans, and fires were lit to celebrate victory. U.S. President Donald Trump announced the ceasefire. After that, Iran's top leaders called it a historic victory. According to the Qatar-based media outlet Al Jazeera, victory rallies and gatherings were held in various cities of Iran around this announcement. Iranian Vice President Mohammad Reza Arif said that through this victory, Iran has proven not only in the military but also in the diplomatic arena, we have the ability to break the horns of America and Western powers. This is the manifestation of Iran's true power. Meanwhile, Mahdi Mohammadi, the Speaker of Iran's parliament and an advisor to former IRGC, Iranian Revolutionary Guard Commander Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, described it as a landmark victory. In a message on X, he wrote, "A new era has begun." Reiterating his position on the nuclear issue, Behrouz Kamalvandi, spokesman for the Atomic Energy Organization, said on national television that no one can uproot our nuclear program. This sector will never stop because of our capabilities and scientific progress. According to analysts, the ceasefire is being considered a strategic success for Iran. It has given Iran the opportunity to negotiate from a strong position by moving away from direct conflict. It has also created an opportunity to showcase its defense capabilities and diplomatic skills to its own people. People celebrate the victory in Iranian cities. They took to the streets and chanted slogans such as "Down with America" and "Destruction of Israel." Flag processions, religious songs, and revolutionary slogans were seen in many places. However, doubts have been raised in international diplomatic circles about the sustainability of the ceasefire. Analysts say that the Iran-Israel hostility has been going on for decades, so it is not certain how long the ceasefire will last. It is worth noting that on June 13 of this year, Israel attacked Iranian territory, which targeted the country's nuclear facilities. In response, Iran also retaliated against Israel. When the conflict reached its peak, the United States coordinated with Israel to attack 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. In response, Iran launched missile attacks on U.S. military bases in Qatar and Iraq. Finally, in the context of this tension, U.S. President Donald Trump announced a ceasefire after negotiating with both sides, which both countries agreed to accept. This announcement ended the conflict for the time being. Iran says the ceasefire is not just a temporary pause, but rather a show to the world that it is not afraid, but knows how to resist. Tehran believes it is now in a stronger and more confident position in the geopolitics of the Middle East. Trump has now expressed his position on the Iranian regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has been vocal about the Iranian regime after the U.S. military attack on Iran. In a post on his social media platform Truth Social, Trump raised the question, if Iran cannot be great again, then why not change the regime? Al Jazeera reported this information on Monday, June 23, citing Trump's post. In the post, Trump wrote, "The term regime change may not be politically correct, but if the current Iranian government has failed to make Iran great again, then why is change not inevitable?" He added the word MEGA at the end of the post, which indicates Make Iran Great Again in line with his well-known Make America Great Again, MAGA slogan. However, this time Donald Trump has changed his tune. He said that he does not want to see regime change in Iran. Trump spoke to reporters on Air Force One on Tuesday, June 24, while attending a NATO summit in the Netherlands. Asked if he wanted to see regime change in Iran, he said, "No. If there was, there would be, but no, I don't want that. Let's get everything calmed down as quickly as possible." Trump added, "Regime change requires chaos, and ideologically we don't want to see that much chaos." Trump says Netanyahu betrayed. U.S. President Donald Trump has expressed his anger over Israel's attack on Iran, violating the terms of the ceasefire. He believes that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has betrayed him by violating the agreement. Phil Lavelle, the U.S. correspondent for Qatar-based Al Jazeera, reported this on Tuesday, June 24. He said that Trump's statement while talking to reporters in Washington before his trip to Europe showed strong anger towards Israel. According to Phil Lavelle, Trump was angry with both Iran and Israel. but it was clear that the most anger was with Israel. He even expressed great annoyance at Netanyahu's behavior and even hinted that it was a betrayal. Trump told reporters that it was disappointing that both sides broke the agreement within hours of the ceasefire announcement. "But I didn't expect this from Israel." He said he spoke to Netanyahu on the phone on Monday, June 23, to confirm agreement on the ceasefire. Then Qatar's diplomatic support was sought to convince Iran. But then Israel attacked. In response, Iran also fired 13 missiles at U.S. military bases in Qatar and Iraq on Monday afternoon through the Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. President Trump announced a ceasefire within hours of the retaliatory attack. Then he reacted strongly on his own social media, Truth Social, writing, "Israel, stop the bombings completely. If you don't stop it, it will be a serious violation of the ceasefire. Bring your pilots back now, right now." This attitude of U.S. President Trump has raised new questions about the relationship between Israel and its ally the United States. Analysts say that Netanyahu's behavior has disrupted Trump's political strategy, because he wanted to send a message of his diplomatic skills by mediating a ceasefire. But Israel's behavior has called that initiative into question. Political and military analysts see this situation as a major setback for the U.S.-led strategy in the Middle East. At the same time, criticism has also begun to rise about Israel's internal politics and Netanyahu's political position. Trump's anger and the accusation of a breach of trust against Netanyahu are now at the center of discussion in the international diplomatic community. Only time will tell how much the situation will affect diplomatic relations. Iran's latest attack leaves Israel scarred in pictures. Shortly before the ceasefire announced by U.S. President Donald Trump took effect, Iran began firing missiles into Israel like a hail of missiles. It collapsed a residential building in Beersheba. At least 4 people were killed and several others were injured in the attack. This was reported by CNN. Direct and fatal hits caused extensive destruction and damage to residential buildings, said Elia Yitzhak Tobal, head of the Beersheba branch of the emergency response organization, United Hatzalah. The IDF said that 6 missiles were fired from Iran into Israel in 2 waves on Tuesday, June 24 morning. The first attack consisted of 2 missiles. The second consisted of 4. In the second wave, 1 missile hit an apartment block in Beersheba. Medical sources said that 3 people were killed in an Iranian ballistic missile strike in Beersheba. Several others were injured and are in critical condition. Sirens have been sounded in central Israel and parts of the south as a result of renewed missile attacks. U.S. President Donald Trump said Iran and Israel have agreed to a complete ceasefire for 12 hours over the next 6 hours. During this time, both sides will behave peacefully. Israel attacks Iran without paying attention to Trump. U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a stern warning to Israel. However, Israel has attacked Iran without paying attention to his warning. This information was reported in a report by Sky News on Tuesday, June 24. According to the report, Israeli warplanes attacked an Iranian radar site. The attack took place in northern Iran after a phone call between U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Earlier, Sky News reported that Trump urged Israel not to attack the country before the attack. The U.S. president sternly warned Israel not to attack Iran again. Trump gave this stern warning after the Israeli Defense Ministry announced plans for a severe attack against Iran, accusing it of violating the ceasefire. Trump wrote on the social media platform Truth Social, "Israel, don't drop the bombs." He also wrote, "If you do this, it will be a major violation of the ceasefire. Bring your pilots home now." Iranian media reported that Israel attacked Babelsar, Iran. It is a coastal city located on the shores of the Caspian Sea north of Tehran. Iran's judicial media Mizan and Sharq newspapers reported that 2 explosions were heard in the capital Tehran. Meanwhile, according to the latest figures from the Iranian Health Ministry, at least 610 Iranians have been killed in the Israeli attacks over the past 12 days. 4,746 have been injured during this time. Al Jazeera reported this. Health Ministry spokesman Hossein Karmanpour said that 971 people are still hospitalized. 687 of them have undergone surgery. Among the dead are 13 children, the youngest of whom is 2 months old, 49 women, 2 of whom were pregnant. He added that 5 healthcare workers were killed and 20 others were injured in the Israeli attack. 7 hospitals were damaged, 6 emergency response bases, 4 clinics and 9 ambulances were damaged.